This is a DM's guide to the betrayer revealed from Vecna's Eve of Ruin. So players, don't watch this. Okay, so we need to start with, are you remembering that each rod piece can grant the use of a spell? Because I'd forgotten that. This table on page 8 tells you what can be cast. And when the rod is assembled, it grants a +3 bonus to attacks and damage on top of a normal quarterstaff's damage, which is 1d6 bludgeoning. You can cast Detect Evil and Good also. The rod can change your alignment, and the rod can only be destroyed in Lava from the Abyss. Okay, they've been to Avernus, they've got all the bits, they come back to Sigil. So Mordenkainen, who is Cass, greets the players in a giddy, eagerly overjoyed fashion, which is strange for a wizard of such power to be acting like an excited child. Mordenkainen will say that Vecna will be in some far-flung, secretive place, because he wants to be undisturbed while he does his ritual. He'll say, but I have a contact who might help me determine the location of the ritual. But first, I must make sure the rod is properly and safely put together for you to use. And I think you must stress that Mordenkainen wants them to have the rod in case someone's really attached to that magic item. So he's like, look, go take a rest. You're going to need all the energy you can get, and I'll have this finished by the time you come back. And I don't know if this helps, but you could fake temp HP them. Mordenkainen pretends to do something that, grants them proper rest and says, off you go to bed, but it doesn't really do anything. And what if a player is attuned to the rod? Well, while they're out of the way, Mordenkainen attunes himself. And I don't think you would know that you'd unattuned. I'm not sure. Ultimately, it's up to you. That's the right answer. But at some point, he will get it, even if it's telekinesis whipped from the side of their bed. Another example of having them relinquish it to Mordenkainen is he says, look, it shattered once. I can do something to stop it shattering. You don't want it breaking while you're mid-use. And a bit of a failsafe is Illustrial and Tasha saying, come on, he's been alright so far. Just let him have it, let him do it. But another factor you can use is Illustrial saying that her wife Milena hasn't come back from town. She's not responding to scrying either, weirdly. Look, she went to a shop called Velgar's Vittles, and Velgar Vera is a good friend of Mordenkainen. And the real Mordenkainen knows nothing about what's going on. So there's a bit of a reveal of Mordenkainen's not for real. Now, Cass might find himself stuck with player or players, and there might be a fight over the rod. But ultimately, you want Cass to go through a portal, whether as part of his action you have him create a portal, or you need to invent what you can, rule breaking or not, that Cass goes through a portal. Cass has got plot armor because you're meant to fight him next, not now. Because Cass is going to release Miska in order to help defeat Vecna and take the winnings of the ritual for himself so that he can be the ruler of the multiverse. And we know he's gone to Pandesmos. But if all works accordingly as the book hopes it might, and it's a big rug pull, we have violent slamming and crashing waking up the players, or downstairs or in another room, and you hear either Tasha or Illustrial say, you monster, you can't get away with this, and the other voice saying, we trusted you, how could you? And then he's gone. So the Sanctum is in a mess. There's been a fight. Tasha and Illustrial licking their wounds, healing themselves, exhausted from doing that, so they can't really go any further. They have to heal. But they'll be okay, but it'll take like a long rest. Like a short rest is an hour, isn't it? So they're also angry at themselves for being taken in, but under such high-pressure circumstances, they weren't looking for a deception. This is so dumb, the fact that it suggests that he goes, finally, this ends in Pandesmos. I don't like that at all. But it sort of gives the other option of an arcane solution. The two wizards can almost test the air that came through the portal as he went through there. And it's like, oh, I heard the winds. That smells of sulphur. And that can only mean, pandemonium somewhere. They surmise that Cass wants the power instead of Vecna. He mentioned something about Miska, or there's some notes left behind. Miska is trapped in Pandesmos. So, there's that, or there's visions. Why? The characters are linked to Vecna from the one shot. So you can info dump what you want through a vision. Like Vecna has put something in place to protect himself from being stopped from doing the ritual, and the fact that fate has now intervened to cause him an issue, there's some kind of backlash that the players are like, our link to Vecna knows that he knows something has changed vitally. So the two wizards remaining could convince the party to use the chime on Cass instead and banish him back to his domain of dread. But remember, he needs to be weakened to a set amount of hit points before the chime will work. Malena could return now or whatever and unveil that Cass has betrayed everybody. She suspected something but couldn't prove it. She went to prove it and now, unfortunately, a little too late. Perhaps this is where Tasha and Illustriel join the party. We have the stats in the book, and that would allow not only a good fight, but a stronger fight. I would think about, is it an option that you can get two fresh people to guest star as Tasha and Illustriel Silverhand, so that the DM doesn't have to do it, and they're living, breathing, have their own opinions and what they want to do. I think that's quite cool. So through the portal, they emerge in a dark, cold, windy, carved up rocky landscape. The wind is really loud, so you need to shout to each other to be heard. There are 4 bodies of Glabrazoos littered around, which Kaz killed as soon as he got through the portal. 2 Degloths and 2 Vlazuks are nearby, but they also knew to keep away from this wizard who just came through and blasted monsters. An interrogation will show that he headed northwest. There's footprints to be found though, there's splatters of blood to be found, and they all track towards where he's gone. A Degoloth then, AC 18, 133 average health, speed of 40 feet, climb speed 40 feet. Has advantage on saves against spells and magic. 2 Razor Fist attacks at plus 10, 17 slashing. Can be grappled, DC 18 to get out of it. Bonus action, Crush. DC 18 strength saving throw, taking 15 bludgeoning, and there are 2 of these. Then there's also 2 Vlazoks, AC 17, 136 average each, 30 feet speed. Can't be surprised, has advantage on melee attacks against any creature that doesn't have all its hit points. Advantage against saves and magic. Can climb up and down, walls, it's a spidery thing. 2 gore attacks, plus 9, 29 piercing, and you're prone. Bonus action stomp, plus 9, 27 bludgeoning. It's just for something to do in this short chapter. But you can instill any of weird oddities you like, bug-like freaks into here. So, have fun. If you've got something lying on a shelf, you've never known when to use it, shove it in here. Recover it in whatever weirdness you think and just roll those stats. So the areas, there's 5 spewing geysers around as well. DC 18 dex save or 8d10 force damage or half on a success. But maybe you number them, roll a d6 to see which one goes off and re-roll 6s. Or maybe 2 go off on a 6. What about that? And then we get into the caves, and the cave lights are lit by multicoloured weird floating lights. And essentially that's it. We know Kaz is an enemy. We're in Pandesmos. Endgame starts. So yeah, do you have these strong wizards with you? This whole area of the game now could be vastly different from what the book has written. Let me know how it goes. I'd love to know. If at this point you're just prepping and haven't bought the book, click on my Amazon affiliate link in the description. Doesn't get you a discount sadly, but it helps me out. And with that, I'll see you in the next chapter.